Hello, I like money.
Mr. Daly, what inspired you to enforce the Biden vaccine mandate on your employees?
Money.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ray. Welcome to the Evangelical Dark Web. Today, we're going to be talking about Jim Daly and focus on the family and how they are enforcing the Biden vaccine mandate. Now, there are a ton of organizations that are enforcing this at last minute because supposedly OSHA is going to be starting to enforce this next week unless the Supreme Court issues a stay or some sort of delay. Don't count on the Supreme Court because, Amy Coney Barrett's a COVID Karen. So with that said, Jim Daly of Focus on the Family is the latest high-profile Christian organization to implement a not a COVID vaccine mandate, but institute the Biden vaccine mandate. So that's the latest. Last week we talked about Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary doing that, despite the fact that Southern Baptist Theological Seminary is fighting it in court. And to me, they're a bit hypocritical in doing so. But nonetheless, they're taking a much stronger stance than Southeastern, which is going full bore and enforcing it. So with that said, we're going to talk about Jim Daly in this video because I already did a video on Danny Akin. So with that said, I do have an article about this on Evangelical Dark Web. Check it out. That'll be linked in the description below. And you don't have to put in an email like you would for Epic Times in order to read it. But again, so Jim Daly wrote in a statement, I'm going to quote Jim Daly himself because it is his words that I'm hammering him for a financial motivation. That's not, he's not even Branch Covidian in my view. He could be Branch Covidian, but I'm going to go after him for being financially motivated, which is basically makes him no better than a prosperity preacher. Therefore, at the recommendation of our general counsel, we need to start implementing the ETS order while praying the Supreme Court acts. Refusing to do so could cost Focus multiple millions of dollars in fines. And then he goes on to say, failing to comply would threaten our ability to continue helping and serving millions of families. At the same time, we don't believe our employees or anyone else should be forced to violate their deeply held convictions in this matter. It is our hope and prayer that the Supreme Court will soon strike down this mandate as unconstitutional. After 2 years of unprecedented pain and loss, it's time for our nation's policies to heal and unite and not hurt and divide our fellow Americans. And this is a pretty weak and beta male statement. Jim Daly is a complete beta male on this issue, and the reason why is because he's financially motivated. We can't do the right thing because that could cost us millions of dollars. Never mind the fact that your employees and your donors are putting you on blast for this policy. And the bad publicity that Focus on the Family has gotten very well could cost them millions of dollars, whereas a supposed hypothetical OSHA raid, it could cost them millions of dollars. A hypothetical OSHA raid is far less likely to do so. From a fiduciary standpoint, Jim Daly is completely stupid. The backlash for going and enforcing the Biden vaccine mandate is huge, and he's reaping the consequences for it. And I advocate canceling Focus on the Family. And yeah, I know that people on the right don't like the word cancel, but this guy needs to be canceled. He needs to be fired from Focus on the Family. He needs to be removed, and all donations to Focus on the Family need to stop until they actually repent of this policy. And the only way they can really repent is to fire Jim Daly, because this guy clearly is unfit to hold that position. We cannot have financially motivated people in charge of parachurch ministries. There's a huge problem with that. And the fact that his reason is not safety, so you can't even call him a Branch Covidian. It's purely financial. If we take a stand for what is right, that could cost us millions of dollars. That's not worth it. That's his argument. That is his only argument. When Jesus said, you cannot serve two masters, meaning God and money, Jim Daly is not even pretending to straddle the fence. He is clearly serving money. And instead of God. He's clearly serving money, not even trying to feign obedience to God. That's a huge issue, and someone like that should not be running a parachurch ministry. Obviously, I think the Bible's pretty clear that he would be unqualified to be a pastor, but I do want to extend that a little further because he should not be in charge of a parachurch ministry. So with that said, Jim Daly should be removed, and he wants to enforce the Biden vaccine mandate. That's another thing that I think needs to be pointed out because, again, I know of companies that have it way worse than Jim Daly does. If you want to talk about companies that have to enforce the Biden vaccine mandate but are not enforcing the vaccine mandate that Biden is trying to implement, look at government contractors. They've completely relaxed their grip on the entire situation following much of the court battles that have ensued. They've relaxed their grip. They're not clamping down on Biden vaccine mandate, but these faith-based organizations are. That is a huge contrast because, the Biden administration is writing the Biden vaccine mandate into government contracts per their renewal. So they have a much harder battle in fighting this, but they're not clamping down on their employees just yet. However, the faith-based organizations, which should recognize conscience and what is right, they're going full bore with it because, and I would say that Southeastern's being Branch Covidian, focus on the family is being financially motivated. They're basically being Joel Osteen right now. And that is because they ultimately want to. They don't believe that it's worth the risk not to, meaning that they'd rather do it than not do it. And again, it was a stupid calculation to think that this would not backlash on them. And I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope the people that focus on the family wake up and get rid of Jim Daly for this action. He's clearly unfit to serve. So that's all I got to say about that. My name is Ray. This is the Evangelical Dark Web. And if you like this kind of content, also subscribe to the channel. And also check out evangelicaldarkweb.org. Amazing articles like the one I just did a brief walkthrough of. And you can support evangelicaldarkweb.org by becoming a subscriber there as well. Have a blessed day. Leave a comment below about what you think about what I think. And I will catch you on the next one.